I think that dimethyltryptamine, is one of the most powerful hallucinogenics known to man. They use other plant medicines to open a door, to get a glimpse of reality, causes them to see the world differently and possibly take that transcendental experience, that event, and begin to integrate it into their neural circuitry and then really bring it into their lives, to begin to see that reality isn't how we typically see it. I think when it's done in ceremony, when it's done in ritual and there's meaning behind it, I think people can gain a lot of insight about themselves, the way they see themselves, and sometimes when they're feeling in an elevated mood, they can objectively see themselves from a different energy or a different emotional state. I mean, most people wait for trauma, feel so terrible, so bad, to hit their lowest point that they start looking at themselves because they don't feel like themselves, they can see themselves for the first time. Well, by the same means, sometimes the change in emotional state that's created causes us to see ourselves a little bit more objectively, without judgment, without the filter of the critic. And then we have a little bit more compassion in the way that we make changes for ourselves. So I think when it's done properly, I think it could help people really have a really nice glimpse of the way things really are, not how they see them subjectively. And we know that the pineal gland makes dimethyltryptamine. How do we know that? Well, because if you have receptors in your brain, dimethyltryptamine fits into it, means then on some level you should be able to manufacture that. When we do the meditations and do the work to activate the pineal gland, all the work we do and all the various ways we do it is to give this gland more energy, in a sense. And when there's more energy in that center, it becomes activated and it changes from the way it normally functions. And when that occurs, the metabolites that are created from the pineal gland not only just produce the hallucinations and the fractal patterns and the doors of dimension opening, but the benefits of antioxidants, anti-cancer, anti-aging, anti-heart disease, anti-stroke, anti-neurodegenerative, anti-inflammatory, antimicrobial. Those are what antioxidants do. You got two of the most powerful antioxidants being released at the same time as the dimethyltryptamine. You have a natural Valium that's going to Valium actually shuts the circuits down in the amygdala, the survival center of the brain that's branded with aggression and competition or fear or pain. It dials those circuits down. So that's why people tend to be more relaxed. They feel safe in the present moment. Well, now you're making that naturally in your brain. The pharmacist, the inner pharmacist, is doing that. There's more energy to do it, to manufacture something differently. And you can create chemicals that cause the body to shut down its animal centers, its survival centers, and produce a higher electric current. So instead of just getting the one experience that could cause you to have a lucid moment or an insight, you're getting a series of derivatives of melatonin that I think in some way begin to work in producing a more significant biological change in the body. And I love the idea of naturally activating it, because in order to do that, you have to get through certain levels of yourself. So in a sense, you're cleansing yourself. In a sense, you're overcoming yourself. In a sense, you're becoming more worthy to receive these chemicals. And so you're initiating yourself as your own shaman, in a sense, in preparing yourself for that classic moment where you begin to realize that you're more than you always thought you were. And that event then begins to create neural pathways to be able to do it again a little bit easier. And what I want our students to learn how to do is to activate that part of their brain and lay the trunks, the neural pathways down, so that they can do it on command, that they can become the mystic.